Okay, welcome back to another episode of Banking Without Borders. So I want you to imagine for a moment a hotel loyalty card that only works if you first move your money into a completely different bank. You have to open the account, fund it, and then you get the card. That's not a hypothetical situation. That launched in the UK on the 30th of June. IHG, or the Intercontinental Hotel Group, brought out their first UK card in 3 years, and they chose to do it through Revolut. Hilton already have one of these, so does Marriott, but neither of them make you switch banks to get it. Yet IHG looked at that model and went, nah, that's not for us. We're going to make people really commit. And the potential ramifications of that decision, along with their partnership with Revolut, are just some of what we'll explore in this episode. Now, there are two versions of this card: Essential, that's free, and Elite, which is £18 per month. And for that, you get platinum hotel status, a metal card, and boosted points when you spend. So here's what we want to know. The points. Are they any good? Because there's a number buried in the mass for how much you'd have to spend just to earn the fee back, and it's big. The status. You get this instantly, which is really quite lovely. But of course, there's a catch on how long you can keep it. And then there's the version of this card that, for the right person, can turn a fee of £216 a year into £600 of value. So we've got two cards, a bank in the middle that you cannot avoid using, and a fee that's either a rip-off or an absolute bargain, depending entirely on who you are. So Jan, shall we begin with just how these two actually compare?
I'm not sure about you, Johnny, but I'm quite confused looking at these benefits. You're getting so many points, and there's so many conditions tied to them, and there's so many different reward benefits that I really had a hard time wrapping my head around it. But let's get started. So you're getting statuses with both of these tiers, Essential and Elite. With Essential, you get IHG Silver Elite, which comes with certain benefits such as a late checkout if it's available. And with Elite, you're getting IHG's Platinum Elite tier, which is obviously a lot better, but you also have to pay £18 for it. And that one gives you access to complimentary upgrades, things like that. I believe you also get a free snack when you check in. Love snacks, so that's quite nice. And in order to get the card, the physical one at least, you need to pay £10 for silver. And Elite gives you a free card initially, but I think it's similar to what Revolut has done with their metal plan, where if you lose it, you need to spend, I think, £40 in order to get a new one. Welcome bonuses seem compelling as well, at least from a first perspective. So you're getting £10,000. You're getting 10,000 points after your first £1,000 spent within the first 3 months with Essential, and you're getting 30,000 points after your first £3,000 spent within the first 3 months with Elite. These welcome bonuses might be worth mentioning if you're interested in getting them. They expire by the 25th of August, which means you need to have an account ready, opened, the card in your hand, ready to spend, if you want to take advantage of that.
And if you've had a IHG card previously, will you still qualify for the welcome bonus? I'm talking about the creation card.
Yes, Johnny, you will. So that's quite a nice benefit. Let's talk about Elite Night credits. Actually, I had to look that up when doing research for this episode because I had no idea what that was. Could not understand. I thought it was free nights that you get within the hotel, but no, it's not like that. It's not even similar. So you're getting 5 Elite Night credits with Essential after your first £1,000 spent within the first 3 months. And basically what Elite Night credits get you is they help you climb the status ladder on IHG's status list. So you need to stay a certain amount of nights per year in IHG hotels in order to qualify for an additional status. As an example, if you want to get gold, which is the next status after silver, it's 20 qualified nights. And if you get silver, spend these first £1,000, you're already 5 nights in. So almost there, 25% completed. And with Elite, you get 15 of these free credits, but you also have to spend £3,000 within the first 3 months at least. Afterwards, both get 1 additional Elite Night credit for every £4,000 that you spend. So you can basically spend your way into another status. You know, you don't even have to stay in these hotels if you didn't want to. But I assume that people that didn't want to stay in these hotels, they would not get these cards in the first place because the earn rate, Johnny, not quite sure. I find them attractive.
Yeah, and you'll be spending with a Revolut account, which is an important point to make. We'll talk a bit more about what that means later. Ultimately, it's the elite plan that's going to earn the most, and that's when you're spending with an IHG hotel, or on an IHG hotel, I should say, in the US, the UAE, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Thailand, Japan, and Canada. So you're ring-fenced to a couple of places where you can earn that elite launch boost of 9 points per pound. The launch boost. Importantly, though, the launch boost ends on the 31st of October 2026. Ideal scenario, you're thinking about staying at an IHG hotel this summer, perhaps before the end date, and it's in one of those countries that I mentioned. Well, yeah, fantastic. You can get yourself 9 points per pound. I think you need to earn 40,000 points, Jan, to get a free night.
Yep.
So that would be £4,450 of spending at 9 points per pound. So the ideal scenario is someone's going to a very expensive IHG hotel, perhaps they're booking their family in, and they're going to rock up that amount of points. That's really nice. But when that elite launch boost ends, I mean, we haven't even talked about what it's like for essential people like me. That's the card I have. I'm testing this as well. When that launch boost ends, you get 6 points per pound for the IHG hotels in one of those countries. You get 4.5 points per pound for the rest of the world. You then get 3 points per pound for UK and Europe. So I said the rest of the world. Apologies for that. This is just the way they've organized it, but it doesn't actually include the UK and Europe. So IHG hotels, UK and Europe, 3 points per pound, which I think is probably, Jan, most of the people listening to this, 3 points per pound when you book. Everything else, so everyday spending with the elite card earns 3 points per pound. Internationally, excluding UK and EEA, and then everything else, 1.5 points per pound, Jan, on the elite status.
Wow.
It's so confusing already. I apologize. We'll put a table on for people who are watching this. If you're listening to this podcast quite frequently, this might be an episode worth watching, because I think visually you'll be able to understand these cards a little bit better. When it comes to the earn rates for the Essential, it's a little bit easier. You're looking at 1 point per pound across the IHG group, so booking any hotel. And then in terms of everyday spending, you're going to get 0.5 points per pound, regardless of where you are in the world. That one's quite easy to understand. And there's no launch boost for Essential card holders. Jan, is the maths good here? What do you think?
I mean, Johnny, just listening to you, it's kind of obvious that it isn't really that attractive. Is it terrible? Probably not, to be fair. So what are these points actually worth? Yeah, the launch boost. What are these points actually worth? So a lot of, depending on which sources you look at, I would say it's worth somewhat around 0.4p for every point. And IHG itself, when they're running a sale, they're typically selling them at 0.5 cents, which is about 0.4p. So 0.4p, definitely fair, potentially even generous working figure. Then you just got to make the math, right? If you're getting, let's say, using Essential for your everyday spending at Tesco or some other retailers in the UK, maybe you want to fuel your car with it, you're earning 0.5 points for every pound that you spend, and you can redeem them for 0.4p worth of value, then you're getting 0.2% of Essential cashback.
That's the important number here to help people's brains fathom what Jan is talking about, right? 0.2% cashback. Let's just keep this simple. It's the equivalent. Just like Chase UK's debit card or credit card gives you 2%, this is 0.2%.
That's 1/10 of it. Wow. Yeah. Okay. If you use this Essential tier and you spend your money in hotels, obviously that's more attractive. You can get up to twice that, or you can get twice that essentially. But still, I don't think this is gonna move the needle anywhere. So just don't use the Essential tier for any sort of reward spending. There are way better options out there. The question is, should you use the Elite tier for this? Johnny, I don't know about you, but I don't think so either. Unless you spend within IHG's hotels. So if you do that, you mentioned that already. Let's exclude the launch boost for a little bit.
Yep.
You'd be earning 6 points for every pound that you spend within the US, UAE, Singapore, and these other countries, the list you've mentioned already. So that's 2.4% essentially. That can be quite nice.
Yeah, I mean, you could go away and you could spend with your Ultra card, say the Lloyd's Ultra card, and earn 1% internationally. You know, that's going to beat the Essential. That's going to beat the Elite until you spend at IHG in one of those jurisdictions. But it's tougher. It's more difficult. It's more niche. And also, what are the currency costs of using a Revolut card internationally in, say, Saudi Arabia or the UAE, arguably more volatile area to exchange currencies, Jan? You got to figure that one out as well.
Yeah, I believe
it's not as straightforward as just earning 2.4%, because there may be some costs that you'd have to offset on currency exchange.
That's right. I believe your plan tier applies here, isn't it? So when you're with Revolut Standard, whatever limit you get with Revolut Standard, I think that would apply.
No, you're absolutely right. It would be the plan tier that you're on. So if you're using Standard, you've got up to £1,000 or euros of fee-free currency exchange. Perhaps you arrive at your hotel and you have to pay for it and it's a Saturday. God forbid. It's going to be a 1% charge if you're with Standard. All of a sudden, any rewards that you could be getting could just disintegrate as a result of FX charge.
Spending on a Saturday. It's kind of, how ironic is this? Let's
not get carried away, Johnny. Though. This is another video, another episode.
Stay serious. We have to focus.
What about the value of the welcome bonus, Jan? Because there is obviously a lot of value to be had in these, in not using this as for everyday spending, but to grab some of those benefits.
Well, I guess these 30,000 points that you get with Elite, they can be quite compelling, especially considering the fact that you only need to spend 40,000 points to get a free night credit. So that almost brings you 75% there. And then considering you're going to be spending £3,000 in order to get that welcome bonus, you might have already achieved it depending on where you spend it, right? Maybe not quite, but almost. No, actually, you could have achieved it, yeah. Because if you spend, let's say, at IHG hotels, the earn rate will be higher. So I would assume, you can get a free night stay as a welcome bonus if you get Elite and you want to get that.
It's going to cover the welcome bonus as well. Is going to cover a large proportion of the first year fee, which is quite nice. So the Essential Everyday card is going to earn you 0.2% cash back. The Elite card is going to earn 0.6% cash back on everyday spending. There are numerous cards that are better than that. I mean, we mentioned Chase, but we could also mention the Barclay card Avios Plus, the free BA Amex. In fact, actually, I think the free Barclay, of course, the free Barclay card Avios beats that as well. Virgin Rewards credit cards. I mean, it sounds to me like from an everyday spending or even from a rewards card perspective, Jan, I don't even know if I would use the word mediocre to describe this.
Yeah, you're right, Johnny. And there are a few other catches that you might want to keep in mind. So first of all, it's a debit card, which is not ideal. You're not getting Section 75. I mean, you could always file for a chargeback, and that's something I've brought up in the past, but it's surely not as seamless as Section 75 code, which is actually quite generous.
The chargeback is a service agreement between you, Visa, and MasterCard. It's open to interpretation, whereas Section 75 is like a legal compliancy. And also, I think you have to file a chargeback within 120 days of an issue.
That's right.
Whereas with Section 75, you've got a window, I think, as far off as 6 whole years. Yeah, I do think this is a major downside of this card, is that you're not getting Section 75. Sorry to jump in there.
No, that's all good. That's absolutely right. And then you also are tied to Revolut, right? So this could be a benefit or disadvantage depending on how you see it. If you like Revolut, if you use it for daily spending, if you might be accumulating RevPoints, you should definitely reconsider converting this to IHG, because from what I understand is you will not be earning RevPoints with that IHG card, so you can't earn twice. So you basically opt out of Revolut's own loyalty program, which, depending on which tier you're on, can be quite attractive. There are also cancellation fees that are worth keeping in mind. So if you want to cancel Elite, for example, after 14 days, but within 6 months, £18 fee.
I suppose one could argue, to take, just to play devil's advocate, one could argue that at that point you've probably redeemed some of the benefits. So
yeah, fair enough.
Maybe some of the longer term benefits, Jan. I mean, arguably, like when you have to downgrade, I think you get platinum status, don't you, for a further month before IHG will cancel it? Is that correct? So
yeah, I think that's correct.
£18 fee could be covering the cost of that. It's not pretty either way, though, is it?
Nah, it's not pretty at all. So it feels like there are some catches. Like everywhere I look, I discover certain disadvantages, and it's quite underwhelming in my opinion. But maybe I'm not the person who this is for. And I think that's you are neither,
no,
Johnny.
But we're looking at the plain facts. if we want to use this card to spend internationally on an IHG Group hotel in Canada, we're going to be just me, for example, I'm going to be transacting in Canadian dollars. So if I use the standard account to do that, I'm not going to benefit at all. It's going to cost me a large sum of money, particularly if I arrive on the weekend. So arguably, I'd want to be using, say, Ultra, or maybe not as significant as Ultra, maybe Premium Jan. And by using Premium, I can earn accelerated RevPoints. I can unlock the benefits of having more RevPoints per pound. But I don't get that benefit because I'm using my IHG card and I'm earning those points, which completely contradicts or conflicts with the idea of having a higher plan to spend internationally. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I really don't like how that tastes. Honestly, I'm struggling, and please jump in the comments. I'm sure Jan is about to tell me though. Who is this for?
Yeah.
Because I don't really know, apart from obviously someone who loves IHG and is frequently booking there, possibly for business, Jan?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Johnny. Someone who loves IHG and is frequently booking the hotels. That's exactly who this was made for. Definitely not for us. As an example, I would go ahead and if I want to stay in a hotel and let's say it's not a special occasion, I would go on booking.com or whatever other hotel platform there is, and I would look for the cheapest option. The cheapest decent option in the same category. And let's say I want to stay in a 3-star hotel or in a 4-star hotel. Whatever is cheapest that day, I would book. And if that's an all Arcos hotel, if that's an IHG hotel, or if that's a Hilton hotel, I would not care about that. So it's definitely not for me. This card is absolutely not for me. This card is for people that are very loyal to the IHG brand, and maybe that's because they're traveling for business, and maybe their company has some sort of agreement with IHG, but then also at the same time, they're buying these hotels themselves with their personal card because that's required in order to get these benefits. So I'm not sure if that person exists, but I guess that's who this would be for.
Yeah, no, you're right. Regarding business as well, I just thought about that. Businesses, corporations particularly, will be booking their hotels for their employees. They're not going to be using a Revolut debit card to do so.
Most likely
they'll have some probably commercial rate with the hotel group. Funny, isn't it? What about those that are seeking out status?
I mean, if you're on free silver status, get that essential plan, unless you're using the Revolut standard plan for something else. Why not? What
about platinum?
There's no downside. But platinum, to be honest, Johnny, should you even get that? And if you really want to get that, I think they're selling the ambassador status for $225, which is about £170. That's cheaper, right? That's cheaper than getting elite. So that could be worth it. And it comes with a 2-for-1 intercontinental weekend night certificate, which is a lot more than you're already getting with Elite. And that it's not for cashback maximizers, that's also very clear, right, Johnny? 0.2 to 0.6%. Ooh, it's not going to move the needle at all.
I wasn't even going to go there. I'm beginning to think that there must be competitive cards that are far better than this. I mean, let's talk about, Jan, some of these cards that are stacked on top of Currensea, which from a foreign exchange spending perspective versus a Revolut standard is probably going to be better. They have a 0.5% FX fee. Revolut have, I don't know, let's talk about the Revolut rate, a weekend fee, an FX fee free threshold. You could be looking at 3% upwards depending on the currency that you're transacting with. So we've got some competitors that are stacked or bolted on top of Currensea. We have the Hilton Honors Plus debit. Obviously, it's going to depend on the hotel group that you want to use, but Marriott Bonvoy also have the premium debit and Marriott Bonvoy debit. Do we want to talk about how these compare? Is it worth going there? We could get into the weeds and it might be a bit too much. I think the currency comparison at least is worthwhile. Is there anything else worth discussing with these competitor cards?
I think it really depends on which hotel group you want to stay in. Obviously, those are not free options. Those are paid options still. And I would not recommend them for most travelers. As I said, I book my hotels in a different way. I don't stick to one specific group. But if you're staying within the Hilton group, within the Marriott group, these two options could be good for you. Yeah, absolutely. And I think they could be more compelling than what IHG has to offer here. Absolutely.
On fee alone, though, looking at these, what's interesting is looking at these other competitors. The most expensive one that we're looking at is the Marriott Bonvoy premium. That's £175 a year. I mean, that's £51 cheaper than this IHG Elite card. It is expensive. I guess if people are trying to get onto the status above Platinum, so diamond, they are dangling you something that could be incredibly compelling at that price. But otherwise, when you look at the cost of this elite and the fact that you're going to have to transact with Revolut, you're going to have to use a Revolut account, you're going to get the unfortunate benefits of, or lack of benefits of standard, because why on earth would you be compelled to use this with an ultra account if you're not going to get 1 point per pound or 1 rev point per pound? Oh, but don't worry, you'll get 1.5 IHG points, whatever.
Oh man.
Do you know what I mean here? I'm really put out on this one, everybody. I feel like Currensea have done a really good, clever thing. A few years ago, Jan, I was kind of struggling to sell Currensea, at least the basic free tier, because ultimately you're going to get something better with MasterCard or Visa's exchange rates, and you may as well just, instead of having to bolt something on, just get the card and use that card, just get a good one. But Currensea have done something really smart here by partnering with hotel groups and giving you access to decent FX rates. The problem here is that you're still having to use Revolut, and I think that will have ramifications in the future. Jan, I don't know how you feel about this. What is your opinion on the future outlook of these cards? Do you think they'll survive?
I don't think so, especially considering what happened to the previous IHG cards, which discontinued 3 years ago. I could see a similar end here. But on the other hand, Revolut has 75 million customers, and I'm sure there will be some, if not quite a lot, that will start using these cards, because maybe they're not as well informed. Maybe they're just maybe they're staying in IHG hotels a lot. Who knows? So it's really, it's difficult. I'm sure I'm sure these cards have better chances launching with Revolut than they would have with any other bank. Would I get one? No.
75 million customers. But seriously, how many of them are actively using their Revolut account, and how many of them are actively booking hotels at scale whereby this would be valuable to them? I really want people to get in the comments and let us know if this is compelling to you, if this account looks interesting. If you're using it especially, God, I'd love to hear from you. But it really is hard for me to see the unique selling points here. Jan.
Are there a lot of private travelers that are using IHG at scale, so this is really worth it? I don't know. And is IHG even that special that you should be doing that? There are many other good hotels, right? There are good Hilton hotels, there are good Marriott hotels.
I was thinking the same thing. Like when I was thinking about how much money you'd need to spend to get the 40,000 points to get the free night, right? And I worked out it was £4,450, earning the 9 points per pound welcome bonus, launch boost. But then I was thinking, IHG hotels, are they that expensive? Are they that premium?
Intercontinental can be. I think that's definitely a premium brand.
So you could find expensive hotels with IHG.
Oh, for sure.
And rack up the points.
Not going to be a challenge.
Okay, you're not going to do it at the Holiday Inn, but yeah, you might do it elsewhere. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you for clarifying that. I mean, it really is, doesn't it? It really does come down to what sort of hotel bed do you like to sleep in? Are you
I think most are comfortable.
Hotel group most are comfortable? That's very true. Are you an IHG user, or are you Jan, who's more of a
my recommendation
arguably logical, sensible person?
Don't let these hotel brands talk you into the fact that you have to get one of these cards. I think that's just a bad way to travel. As someone who has traveled so frequently in the past 10 years, definitely would not recommend that. Most likely you're better off sleeping in whatever hotel is the cheapest. You'll save more money that way. You might be saving £20 if you stay in an Accor hotel instead of an IHG hotel one night, but you'll not be getting points. So who cares, right? These £20 saved, they're worth more than getting these points. So I honestly, I think this is a trap. That's my personal opinion. Yeah. Make up your own opinion. Look at the facts.
Factor in those fees. Factor in those fees, Jan. Because you might be earning points, but you might also be paying for fees on foreign exchange with Revolut. That's something that you've got to be critical of. And I think this is a card or a set of cards that deserve you to be critical of. You got to look at what the benefits are and if you can make those welcome bonuses, if you can make those spending milestones, because then it might be worthwhile. But don't fall for the trap of just signing up for a shiny, nice, impressive card on the £18 elite, £18 per month, or £216 per year. I think that's the figure we should focus on.
Wow.
Because Revolut and IHG would like you to focus on the £18 per month figure, but ultimately it's over £200. You got to be critical of these things. I think it's really important. Lots of value for the right person, as we explained, over £600 for the right person. But I think there's far more people that could fall into the trap here of high fees and high expensive cards. Get in the comments though. We'd love to hear from you. We want to know if you're using these cards, if you can see the unique selling points, you see the benefits, or on the flip side, are you kind of, I think in Jan and I think our corner is that these cards appear to be more of a trap. But of course, there is someone out there who will benefit from them. Just want to say apologies for audio listeners because we did miss this week's Wednesday publish. Jan did have an incident with his eye. He got hit in the eyeball by a bottle cap. We'll put a picture up on the screen of what that looks like for video listeners. If you want to show support for Jan, please subscribe. Please like the video. Send
my medical
good,
bills to
nice,
be paid.
Positive thoughts. Yes.
Have a private insurance with a high deductible.
How can people help support you, Jan?
Donate, send aid. Visit depositscout.com. Many ways to support us. Please subscribe, like, and continue listening to this format. It's always a pleasure, a lot of fun for me personally, and I'm sure also for Johnny. So I would say see you in the next episode. It's been a great, interesting topic, and curious about your opinion in the comments. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.